Hello everyone and welcome to another Grindhouse Massacre tournament matchup. Today we have Silence going against Anxiety, with Silence playing Ghostface first in the Lyris Memorial Institute and Anxiety playing Survivor. This is match 1 of set number 1. We see Ghostface using Philly, which is a brown add-on that reduces the time to mark survivors by 20%. And Dropblade Knife Sheath, which grants 10% haste for 5 seconds after marking a survivor. And the first survivor is being marked at the moment, but they are actually aware that Ghostface is around, so they decide to leave. I believe that was Sprint Burst. Not sure though, but Ace decides to leave the area and is probably giving out comms that Ghostface is around the bottom part of the map here, so Ghostface is starting to try to mark survivors here. Soy actually gets a tag here, which is probably, oh wow, and a very fast down here. I thought that Soy was gonna be able to get that stun, which they did, but unfortunately they get hit through the pallet. Now we gotta remember though that these two teams are, one of them, Silence, is in South America and Anxiety is North America. So we're probably going to see a few of these hits that, due to ping, seem like they shouldn't have connected, but it's just a ping issue here. As we see Snapply also getting a tag quite fast, and Mariana doing very good work here, trying to spread the pressure, trying to get some stock on Jazzy. Playing Nia over here. Now deciding to go back to the bottom part of the map to get the unhook, and catches Dwight, being played by your local Jesus, in transition for the unhook, and they just have to drop it. They have to leave, but unfortunately for them, and unfortunately for Ghostface, Retribution is being played by Mariana and gives a lot of information for Ghostface here, and your local Jesus is going to go down. That's a lot of value out of Retribution for Mariana. Very interesting build here, with 2 hexes and then Sloppy and a Scourge Hook Painrest. There is no trade over here, which is good for the Survivor team. Mariana is going to break this pallet and continue the chase onto Ace to try to get Soy out of the match as soon as possible and play the 3v1, which is always very good for killers. The chase continues here. Soy decides to use their firecrackers to try to buy a little bit of time. Mariana plays this very well. The 50-50 goes in favor of Mariana and gets the down again. Now Soy is going to go... Did they hit stage 2? I didn't quite see that. They did. Oh wow. So that is the death of Soy at 5 gens, with all survivors in the Survivor team injured. Mariana is doing this, is managing this match very well, with Retribution the only perk that's gone, and with Ruin still up, Sloppy Butcher, and 3 stacks of Painrest. Some resources have also been used already. The bottom part of the map, we saw one tile that has a decent pallet being broken around the beds in that one of the long rectangular rooms. So that portion is not going to be all that safe anymore. And Mariana finds Adam here, being played by Snapply, and very well done by Mariana, playing the mind games here by crouching while they're in Night Shroud, and it's very hard for any survivor to keep track of Ghostface while they're doing that. No red stain to look to try to keep track of while they're in that mode. So especially that tile is, very, very unsafe when it comes to playing 50-50s against Ghostface. So another hook onto Snapply, that's going to be their first. And I believe that was a Painrest. It was. So now we have 2 stacks left. And Ruin is still up. And this is going to be hard for survivors now, so they're going to have to make a choice. Being at the 5 gens, are they going to try to get the unhook? Are they going to try to get at least one generator done? Or Snapply being on hook? Mariana does have the location of one of the survivors. I believe that was Jazzy. That was getting a little bit of stock onto them. And now they're gonna have to continue to hide potentially, or maybe work on one of the bottom gens. Just to give you a reference, where the hook is we're gonna call that the top side of the map, and then bottom is where Chase is being taken right now. So we see Dwight being played by your local Jesus, getting Mariana out of their Night Shroud. They do have this gap pallet here, but it's gonna be dropped. It is not gonna be dropped. Never mind. Your local Jesus deciding to greet it just a little bit to try to extend this chase. And Mariana decides to take an M1. Surprised that they didn't decide to wait for their power to come back and then maybe get it down, but I think they have quite a little pressure, and they don't need to play that conservatively here. Now we did see Jazzy in the distance. I don't know if they're gonna go. They're not. So Jazzy went for the unhook, and Jesus is found here, or unfortunately injured, working on a generator. I think there's, it's desperate times now for survivors trying to get at least one generator down, so that they help their killer when it comes to the match number 2. Now we do see Jazzy being found here. Jazzy trying to play this tile over here that has been, where the pallet has been dropped. And the tag onto Jazzy. Jazzy's able to drop this pallet here to try to gain a little bit of time. And is able to reveal, Jesus is able to reveal Ghostface. That was pretty fast, honestly. I didn't see much of a warning for Ghostface while they were being while the survivor team were revealing them. But now we see that the chase goes on to Snapply. Snapply, I believe, is on death hook now, which is good for Mariana to take up on this chase. The 50-50s are very well played by Snapply, and they're going to continue here. And another 50-50 that's won by Snapply. Wow. And that'll be it, though. However, very well played by Snapply, timing those bolts very well. That is going to be the death, I believe, onto Snapply at 5. Yeah, well, at 4 generators now. So, Anxiety able to get 1 generator done. And Jesus, I believe this is Jesus here. This was the gen that he was working on earlier, trying to get another generator down, but it's probably about 70%. Mariana not to worry about it. I believe they're just playing it slow. I think that was Jazzy. Yeah, that was Jazzy being stalked. Jesus is probably back on this generator. Mariana's gonna try to catch him off guard. That's not the case, actually. So Jesus decided to drop that and continue going down to the bottom part of the map. Try to play this match. Try to play this pallet over here. Fortunately, it's another 50-50 that goes in Mariana's way. And now Mariana just has to find Jazzy to get the 4K at 4 generators remaining. Mariana getting value out of Philly, getting that Night Shroud back 20% faster than usual, and going into Night Shroud, trying to catch Jazzy off guard. Jazzy, I'm sure, is trying to potentially make their way down to try to get the pickup, and maybe one of the survivors can have like a god tier chase so that the other one can work on one of the generators. But Jazzy doing a good job hiding. Jazzy is a fresh hook, and they would be, if they're able to wait out Jesus's bleed out, then they would save at least 3 stages. So even though it's not ideal that this is happening when 4 generators are still remaining in the map, it certainly would help Anxiety's killer when they play Ghostface. Jazzy nowhere to be found. Mariana trying to stalk a little bit here, maybe, which is really smart. So Mariana is, if you notice that sound, oh, and Jazzy is found over here, unfortunately. And that is going to be the 4K at 4 generators for Mariana and Team Silence. Very well played by Mariana, knowing the mechanics of Ghostface really well, playing those 50-50s to their advantage. And I believe that Mariana is not able to pick Jesus up over here. Okay, now they can. Okay, maybe they might have moved. Might be a spot that's just hard to get the prompt to pick up. But Jesus is picked up now, and is going to go on to a hook, and that is going to be their first hook. Oh, so my mistake. I believe that Mariana not liking that Jesus reveals them from the hook. I believe I misspoke. I believe Jazzy already has one hook, but we'll see over here. Nevertheless, a little bit of a friendly teabag over there on Mariana's part. And that is going to be the 4K at 4 generators. Oh no, Jazzy was a fresh hook, so yeah, we had 2 fresh hooks over there. So that is going to be a very difficult tie, even, win condition, let alone, tie condition as well for the team of Anxiety to try to match. So we will go on to the next match. We just have to wait. No, survivors are not allowed to unhook themselves or to attempt to unhook themselves unless they have deliverance, which is banned for this tier of killer, I believe. And so we won't be seeing that. And we didn't get a lot of saves anyway from the survivor team, and yeah, so very rough match. Very well played by Mariana, and there we go. So now Jesus is going to die, and Jazzy will be next, and that will be it. So next we will have Anxiety playing killer, still in this map, Lyris. And then I'm very curious to see what the strategy is and what their build is to try to maximize the amount of pressure that they can get onto this team of survivors. So well played by both teams. We'll see you in a few minutes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this Grindhouse Massacre tournament matchup between Silence and Anxiety. We now have Anxiety playing Killer and Silence playing Survivor. This is match 2 of set number 1. The win condition for Anxiety is 4K5, since Silence's Killer was able to get all 4 survivors with 5 generators remaining. And we have Praise here playing Ghostface, getting quite a bit of stock onto Darkside, playing Kate in this tile over here, and is able to get the full stock onto Darkside and the haste due to their add-on drop leg knife sheath. And not enough though. Darkside is able to get this stun and able to continue leaving the area, which now I guess Praise has decided it's not worth the chase. But we do find FDS playing David in the TV room, and we also find Ace being played by Nervosito. So pallets being dropped quite quickly here. The blind does come through, and that doesn't seem to bother Praise. Praise not respecting that pallet, playing very aggressively over here. We hear the ruin being just a generator being let go with the ruin over there on the background, and Praise is going to continue the chase up to Nervosito over here. Praise not respecting any pallets in this area, zoning Ace onto this part of the map, and the chase continues with more pallets being dropped. We hear 1 generator being completed, and that is going to secure the tie condition for the survivor team over here. And then you know, with one more generator, and Silence will take this set. We do have a lot of progress on this generator in TV room, so that's gonna complicate things for Praise. And Praise gets stunned, but decides to drop the pallet to get their Night Shroud power back with the Olsen's wallet add-on. However, they leave FDS 99, and FDS is able to get the Night Shroud off of Praise. Now Praise with a good down over here against Ace, going to pick up immediately, but the pallet save comes by David, and that is going to delay the first hook for Praise. And all you can think of is that we have other generators being worked on by the two survivors that we haven't seen in a while, which is Kate and Nancy. And FDS just buying time here, using these windows around TV room and the adjacent rooms, wasting very valuable time. And Praise just has to leave them. Now is going to try to see if they can catch someone off guard, but the survivors are very aware that Praise is around and just decide to split, try to get Praise away from the generator in TV room, but Praise understands that that seems to be the generator that has the most progress. However, we haven't seen Mariana at all, so you think that Mariana is working on one of the bottom gens here. Actually, no, Mariana is also pressuring the TV room. Praise continues the getting rid of all these pallets, and cleaning up the area. So this area over here has very little resources, but survivors continue to just pressure TV room. David unfortunately takes the medieval here, and that is the second generator being completed by Silence. That is going to secure the win condition for Silence for this first set. Do we have another pallet save? No, no, not this time. And that is going to be the first hook onto FDS. And that was a Penres hook. We see that now Praise only has 3 stacks left. Decides to use Night Shroud again, breaking all of these pallets, getting their power back right away. See if they decide to try to stalk or just go for the basic attack. They are stalking a little bit, so Nervosito with maybe 5% of stock on them, and try to keep away from the TV room so that someone else can come and get the save. Now, even though Silence has secured the win for this set, I'm sure the team of Anxiety is going to try to get the best results they can in this area. When we see Mariana coming over to TV room to trade for David, try to get that save, they're able to do it. So our trade will be made, but Praise decides to try to go for the tunnel out. Very well played by FDS, bringing Praise all the way here to this area where the generator has been completed, so that the survivors, the rest of the team, can continue pressuring the gens on the other side of the map. Now Praise decides to just break the pallet, get their power back, go back to TV room, see if they can pick up Mariana, since that is the survivor that traded for the unhook, and successfully, might I say, because now, even though Praise was able to continue the chase onto David, they were not able to down them, so the tunnel out is not going to happen as fast as Praise would have liked. So Mariana is going to go down here. That is going to be their first hook. And with all these chases happening, and all the action happening around TV room, we see that the team of Silence has repaired 4 out of the 5 generators needed to be able to power up the exit gates. Another Painless hook, however, onto the TV room a TV room generator, and now Praise deciding to go to the bottom part of the map and finds a reset potentially here in Library, with David being chased to the bottom of the map, but Praise identifies that they're not the survivor that is injured. Actually, the reset completely happened, so all survivors are in full health. And that is why Praise decided to just come over here, try to pressure this unhook. That happens for free, unfortunately, for Praise. So no pressure onto the unhook. Survivor and Kate, being played by Darkside, is going to get fully stocked. However, the hit tank comes by from Ace, so Nervosito decides to take a hit for Darkside to try to extend this chase over here. All of the resources around here, you know, the filler pallets and you know, the pallets in adjacent rooms have been used, so not a lot of resources for Darkside to do this. To continue the chase over here. Now you have to think that one of the survivors at least is pressuring that generator that we see in the distance. Praise checking on their ruin. However, I think the survivors just are probably not going to try to get rid of it. They're just going to focus on securing the last generator. And Praise just trying to see if they can interrupt one of the survivors rotating for on hook, but that's not the case. The survivors know their objective. They decide to just power through and get the last generator completed. And we see Mariana going for the exit gate right away. They're gonna be caught trying to reach it, and we'll have to see what happens next if FDS and Nervosito decide to go for the unhook and just go for the exit gate. Darkside is about to hit stage 2, and we hear the indication that the exit gates have been powered and opened, with Nervosito trying to waste a little bit of time here. And FDS is able to pick up Mariana. We'll see what they decide to do. If they decide to reset and then go for the unhook to try to get more stages out, or if they just decide to leave. So they're not coming over. Doesn't seem, we don't see any signs of them showing in this area. Potentially resetting, that will be my guess, or maybe opening the gate. They're not actually. They're not in this area where Mariana was left earlier by Praise. So now Mariana and FDS nowhere to be found. We'll see if they decide to. They did reset, so Mariana now is in full health. Don't know if they'll have enough time though to try to get Darkside off the hook. Darkside is able to reveal Ghostface, however, and that is going to be the death of Darkside. Now FDS and Mariana most likely making their way to the gate that has been already opened by Nervosito, and that is going to be the end of this match. So Silence takes the win for this set. In a few minutes we'll come back with set number 2. Stick around. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this Grindhouse Massacre tournament matchup between Silence and Anxiety. This is match 1 of set 2, and we have Anxiety playing Trickster first in the Wrecker's Yard. This killer was Anxiety's pick for this matchup, so I'm excited to see what Quasi is able to do here, and they're able to find their first survivor very fast. So we have Quasi finding FDS quite quickly, and they're able to get a tag early as well. And we also find Nancy over here being played by Mariana, so we get 2 quick tags. Quasi decides to get the blades going, and we see Shack pallet, the best filler pallet in the game, being thrown over here. So now is broken by Quasi. So quite a bit of pressure from Quasi early on. Unfortunately, Mariana is out in the open, which is great for Quasi. Quasi is able to get the down and main event ready. We'll see if Quasi decides to use it here on Kate, and they do. Let's see how many blades are able to hit here. They do have an add-on that extends the duration of main event with each successful hit. They decide to cancel it though. However, Quasi decides to just drop the chase, breaks some of the resources around the map, and goes back to Mariana for the pickup. We'll see if he's able to find a survivor trying to get the to pick up potentially a pallet save over here. And we do hear the footsteps, but they're not able to get it. A ping issue maybe there. We don't know. Remember that we have two regions playing over here, North America and South America. By the way, shout out to both regions in chat for joining us and enjoying this regional matchup. We have Quasi reloading over here. Their build, which I haven't even had the time to mention, but their build is very interesting. So agitation is commonly used in this map, Wrecker's Yard, because Wrecker's Yard is relatively small, and the location of hooks is very important for killers in comp, so that they're able to bring the hooks, or survivors that they down, onto hooks that are close to generators that are of interest to them, so that they continue pressure and they're able to also guard the hook at the same time. And Quasi not committing to this chase onto Ace, deciding that the trade is more important to them. And we do see Kate being hit here with the blades and the main event, so that is going to be a trade for silence. And Quasi is going to get their second pain res hook. Two already being used. They still have pop as well to try to get some more gen regression. They do decide to reload first. We'll see if they decide to use their pop on this generator. No, they decide to venture more into the map and see if they can find a reset or maybe a generator out of place here, and they do. So Mariana over here, however, Quasi not choosing to stick to Mariana only, but also put some pressure onto FDS, and Mariana's gonna go down, and they're not able to reach the bolt. They might reach that pallet there, but not sure if Quasi is able to block it, and they are able to block it. Ace wasn't able to get the prompt to drop that pallet onto Quasi to get the pallet save. So Quasi having a really good start in Wrecker's Yard over here, putting the pressure onto Silence's survivors. The unhook does happen, however. We'll see if Quasi is able to catch the reset under the hook, and they're able to do it, and they decide to stick to it. And now David goes down, and Kate is also in a bad spot with main event available for Quasi and getting the down as well. And two survivors on the ground. Quasi decides to pick FDS. That is going to be another fresh hook for Quasi. And Kate is also going to go onto the hook. Quasi keeping the pressure here on the survivors, doing a very good job. And now we have two hooks on the deep bottom part of the map, which is going to be very difficult for Mariana and Nervosito to try to come and get. And remember, we're still at 4 generators. And still one pain risk hook available for Quasi to use to try to get some more gen regression and pop as well. And Quasi also has this hill. He's patrolling the area, trying to see if one of the survivors is going to transition to try to get an on-hook. But no, they're sticking to gens. Well, at least one of them is sticking to gens, which causes a distraction here for Quasi, and they're able to get one of the on-hooks at least. However, they're caught in transition, and Mariana goes down. Darkside here trying to fight for their lives. But Quasi does get the main event again. And with that add-on, every successful hit just extends it, and he's able to get Nancy down and now back onto the hook. And that is going to be it for Darkside. So that is the first kill for Quasi. And the 3v1 starts at 4 generators remaining. Nervosito here using Fribbers to get away. And Quasi is going to get a lot of value out of that. Up goes the Weasel. Quasi has a very good setup here. The RNG for the generators and the hooks that he chose to take survivors onto is very good. FDS is probably on this generator trying to work it, seeing if they can get some progress, and that is correct. The mind games from Quasi are great, trying to hide their red stain and win over the pallet over here. So that is going to be the second hook onto FDS. And some more pop value. So this is the farthest generator from where Quasi was keeping their hooks. So all the pressure has been spread around for the entire map for all generators. So now Nervosito and Mariana have to make a choice. Did they go for the reset? Do they go for the gens? Do they go for the unhook? So many choices for them. However, Quasi is able to find them, and Mariana is just going to go down to the edge of the map. Comp corner, as it's known in the comp world. But with agitation, Quasi is able to bring Mariana all the way back here. No, deciding to just go for the hook at the bottom, since it's the last hook for Mariana. And now we see why Anxiety decided to pick Trickster for this matchup. Quasi is doing a great job knowing when to use main event, knowing when to just go for the M1, or knowing when to use just the blades. 2 survivors left, both of them are injured, Nervosito and FDS. We'll see if they decide to hide. Maybe one of them tries to get Hatch. This is a small map, however, so that is going to be very difficult if they attempt to do that. FDS, though, is working on this generator here by the dump truck. Quasi is just looking around, see if they can find maybe Ace. Has to throw one blade onto FDS. And now he continues this chase back to where the generator was that he was working on. So that is going to be the down onto FDS. Being out in the open against a Trickster, especially against one that plays so well, is very difficult for survivors. So fortunately, FDS goes down. And now all that we have remaining is Nervosito on the survivor team. Potentially hiding somewhere, trying to stay quiet. It is an ace, so it might be difficult for Quasi to hear their grunts of pain. Checking... Oh, I was gonna say checking lockers, but they're also just reloading over here. And I believe that is going to be it. I don't see any other generators being worked on or progressed. I think that'll be just one generator being able to be completed by the team of Silence. Quasi trying to listen to see if they can hear any grunts of pain in basement out of the lockers. Coming up to this hill for better visibility, and guess what? Bloods, pool bloods are found over here. Now the chase up continues onto Ace. Nervosito doing a good job here, playing the 50-50s around the LT. And Quasi is just gonna walk it down, potentially some mind games, and that is it. So Quasi able to down Nervosito here at the LT. And some nodders over here from Quasi's part. Very happy, and they should be, celebrating. That is a 4K at 4 generators. That is very well played by Quasi. Also well done by the team of Silence. They fought hard, were able to at least get one generator completed. So now the roles are reversed. So we saw the same result in the Ghostface match from Silence's killer, Mariana, able to get a 4K out of 4 generators. Quasi does the same thing here now, and then we'll have to see how the team of survivors from Silence, the team of survivors from Anxiety play against Trickster. And we'll see if they're able to match the same energy, 4K4, or able to actually get the win. So stick around, we'll be back in a few minutes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this Grindhouse Massacre tournament matchup between Silence and Anxiety. This is match 2 of set number 2, and we have Silence playing Killer this time. Trickster was Anxiety's pick, so I'm very curious to see how they do against Trickster. And as we see Nervosito finding your local Jesus playing Claudette very fast, so similar to the previous match where we saw Quasi playing Trickster. They found their first survivor very fast, and they also got a tag very fast. So Nervosito putting pressure with the blades and able to get the down, and with main event ready, he spots Soy playing Ace over here. Ace able to get away with just one more blade, or two more blades before they lose a health state. Being patient at the pallet, good check spots by Soy. Able to get away. The decay meter might start to the laceration meter, I'm sorry, maybe able to decay, but doesn't matter. Nervosito does get an M1 here. Stuck by that pallet way too long. Not able to see where Nervosito was. I'm sorry, Soy stayed at that pallet for too long, and now in a tough spot. We're gonna have to play around this rock. They're gonna go down with one more blade, and now we have Soy on the ground, and Nervosito is going to get their first hook. No generators have been completed. I misspoke. Oh, when we get a friendly tag over here. You know, Trickster practicing for their batting practice later. I'm sure that was a misclick, right? So now we have Nervosito here reloading. Soy on hook. One generator completed, so that secures the tie condition for Anxiety. And we have Claudette again, found by Nervosito. Nervosito able to get an M1 onto them. We do have the unhook uncontested, and you know, Nervosito is just not interested on that. They're able to, or they're more interested in getting some of the pressure off of these generators, understanding the win condition is not reachable anymore, only a tie condition. Now we do have Nervosito finding Adam here at this tile, able to get an M1. Now Adam is just going to go back to the edge of the map, essentially, yeah, trying to reach these tires, I think, but not able to do that. Nervosito with another down, and I wonder what Anxiety's survivors are doing right now. They should be pressuring generators. I don't think we've seen Quasi at all playing Yui, so potentially Quasi pressuring the farthest generator to try to get the win condition secured. We do have Nervosito with the down, and there we go. So that is the win condition met by Anxiety, and Nervosito is going to leave Soy on the ground, even though they have already one hook. They're not going to try to get a second stage onto them, and they're just trying to get more pressure onto these survivors. Nervosito exploring the top area here, where the last generator was completed, and not spotting anybody around here. Whoever was the survivor that completed that generator are long gone, and Nervosito is just going to watch this hook. Watch some of these generators here. He's got 3 around him, and that is going to be the second stage secured onto Snapply. Soy is still in the ground, and we don't see any signs of any of the other survivors in the area. Now we do hear some footsteps over here, so Nervosito able to find your local Jesus, being played by playing Claudette. They do get a tag again, but Nervosito decides to just drop that chase. I think they're going to try to secure this kill onto Snapply and get the game into a 3v1. We do hear Soy over here around this tile, and now Nervosito decides to go back to the unhook. trying to get the tunnel out onto Adam, since they are one hook stage away from leaving the match, and they secure that. Very well played by Nervosito, just securing those blade hits, but not doing it so fast so that the BT, the built-in BT, would not mess up the down. So good strategy there by Nervosito, and we see Snapply leaving this trial. But as we mentioned earlier, the win condition has been met for anxiety. So now we'll see what the survivor decides to do. They do have everybody injured, and we hear some progress onto some of these generators over here, and they are going for the reset. We do see Ace is now in full health. Nervosito is probably going to try to find this reset somewhere on the top side of the map, potentially. Now all three survivors are reset. Nervosito's build is similar to what Quasi had. At least they have agitation and Scourge Hook as well, but Nervosito chose Undying and Ruin. So Nervosito able to play the 50-50 here against Soy, getting an M1 on them. Soy taking the chase to the bottom part of the map, or at least mid-section over here, trying to reach this pallet, which will allow then Nervosito to try to pressure some of these gens over here. And we see Jesus being hit by these blades. Nervosito keeping the pressure onto the survivor team with one survivor on the ground, and Claudette being played by your local Jesus going down here as well. Nervosito deciding that maybe it's time to try to end this match over here. We only have Quasi left as one of the survivors standing. Nervosito trying to find them and try to close things out for this set. We must say that Nervosito played a really good match here. You know, after we saw the first match by Quasi, it did really well, and Quasi able to pick up both of his teammates. And now going on around this tile over here, we do see Quick and Quiet played by Ace, and that is going to be the down. That's very difficult to play. You know, it's a 50-50 whether you go from one side of the palette or the other. Both teams playing really well. On the previous match, in case you missed it, Quasi was able to get a 4K4. And even in the first set, in case you missed that, which was a Ghostface set, Silence got a 4K4 with Ghostface. So in this case, Quasi said, I see your 4K4 with Ghostface, and I match you with a 4K4 with Trickster. So very strong killers on both sides, and now we're gonna have to go to a tiebreaker to decide who's going to be the winner of this matchup. But we do have to finish this match first. We see Nervosito trying to pressure some of these generators, spots a couple of survivors in the distance, sees some scratch marks, tries to go on to Soy over here. Soy does have this pallet and is playing this very patiently. I don't think Soy is going to continue vaulting these pallets until he absolutely has to, or is sure that Trickster has committed to either side of the pallet. Deciding to leave that, and has another pallet over here that hasn't been dropped. It's a good structure. The rocks are tall enough that the blades don't go through, but however, Nervosito still managing to get the down onto Ace over here, going around. Remember that Trickster is not a 4.2 killer anymore. They're able to move 15% faster than survivors, with the not so recent buff that Trickster got. And that is going to be it for Soy. That is the last hook stage for them. And now we have Some progress onto this generator. No pop or eruption. Just a dry kick on Nervosito's part. See some scratch marks around the area here. Able to find Claudette again, your local Jesus. We'll see how Jesus decides to play this tile over here. There is a drop pallet on one side of the tile and one window over here. Nervosito trying to play some mind games here with the moonwalks. Jesus keeping their check spots really well and making Nervosito drop the chase. They're gonna see if they can find Quasi over here. Quasi decides to go onto the fun bus area. One blade hit from Nervosito onto Quasi. A few more to go to try to get try to take one health state from them. Quasi playing this really well. Having played Trickster earlier, knows that distance is key against this killer and having tall structures around them so that they don't get an easy down using their blades. However, they do have to leave that rock, and now that they're onto the middle of the map, there's not a lot of areas they can use for try to avoid the blades. So they end up going down, but they did manage to distract Nervosito for long enough that Jesus is able to finish yet another gen. So 2 generators remaining, 2 survivors left. I believe this will be, depending on what Jesus decides to do. We'll see if they're able to get another generator progress, but at this point it's going to be very difficult. Nervosito is just managing these generators, making sure that Claudette is not around. And maybe Claudette is committing to this generator over here. We see 4 pistons moving. And I think they were. I think Jesus was working on this generator. And once they saw Quasi was completely recovered, they went on to get the pickup. Jesus found here. Probably gonna get an M1. That is the case. Not able to get that to that window in time before Nervosito put their blades down and hit him with their bat. But Nervosito understands that this generator had a lot of progress, still regressing, so Quasi not playing too aggressive, trying to get more progress onto that. They're probably going to play a little slow. See if they can get some more generator progress. They're probably going to reset. We did see a crow go back here, so that's what makes Nervosito come to this area. See if they can spot the reset. And they do, but however, both survivors are already reset. And quickly lose one more health state. So Jesus is not able to avoid that last blade jumping over that pallet, and Quasi is just trying to make some distance, trying to get to the fun bus area. Fortunately, it's a fairly open area for Nervosito to try to get some blades onto Quasi. Quasi, though, playing this very well. One more blade and they'll go down, so we'll see how they decide to play it. Nervosito here with a 360 and a throw for some style points. So we'll play by Nervosito. So both, I have to say, both Tricksters have played this really well. Of course, Quasi was able to manage more pressure onto the survivors, but Nervosito has also played this really well. Very even matchup here between these two teams, Silence and Anxiety. I'm curious to see what the third set will be, which will be a Billy. We'll have Billy here in just a few minutes. In the meantime, Jesus is hiding, potentially trying to get a hatch play. We don't know. Maybe some of the gates. I think at this point, Nervosito might need to start thinking about the location of the gates. We see one here at the bottom to their left, and one mid. But we do hear Claudette, Grunts of Pain, and that is going to be it. Maybe a little bit of ping here. Remember, we have North America and South America playing here. Silence being from South America and Anxiety in North America. So some ping might have helped Nervosito get that hit over there. But that is going to be it. So 4K2 for Nervosito. and this set is being taken by Anxiety. So now we are tied. We will have a tiebreaker set with Billy, and I'm excited to see that. This is a very even matchup, as I mentioned earlier. So now we're going to see who will take the win. So stick around, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this Grindhouse Massacre tournament matchup between Silence and Anxiety. This is match 1 of set number 3, and we have Silence playing Killer. So Nervosito here playing Billy finds your local Jesus very fast and it down very quickly, as well as they cleanse Retribution, and now Nervosito has information on all 4 survivors. Well, the 3 remaining that were in full health after downing Jesus. So very quick start here with, it's typical of a Billy set. We're gonna see a lot of action. Billy going across the map and getting rid of resources very quickly. Zoe understands that they have nothing around the area and they have to go around this rock on edge map, and they're just gonna have to go down. Is Nervosito going to pick up? And no, that's not the case. They do have Ruin. It's a very interesting build, as you can see. And Nervosito here putting the pressure onto your local Jesus. They're vulnerable here, already being injured. And they're gonna secure the M1 or the basic attack onto Jesus. No survivors around the area. We do see that Nervosito has a perk that gives the location of the survivors, and Adam now here goes down. And we have a 3-man slug already in this very fast match of Billy. Nervosito very, very active and putting a lot of pressure onto these survivors. Unfortunately, Soy is not going to be able to blind Billy here with this firecracker, and they're gonna have to go down again. Quasi is the one remaining survivor. They're gonna have to make very good choices here to try to get their teammates back up. And they're able to do that. However, they go down quickly with the basic attack. And now everything is relying on to Quasi. With Quasi not having any resources around the area. That pallet has been dropped and broken by Nervosito. Quasi able to waste a little bit of time here. Are they gonna go onto a locker? And they do. And this becomes a 50-50 here on to see who is going to win. And Nervosito, I think, was never going to let go of that charged chainsaw, understanding that even if they were there for 30 minutes, there was nothing else to do for these survivors. And that is going to be a 3-4 man down completed by Nervosito. And now Nervosito's gonna have to go and around the map and try to pick everybody up. And we'll see if they're able to do that. Able to find Claudette. So Jesus now going onto the hook. Snapply and Soy are going to have to be found here by Nervosito. See if they can get a hook onto them. Plenty of time though for Nervosito to find I would say about a minute for Snapply and about 30 seconds for Soy. 40 seconds maybe, but doesn't matter. Soy found, so Nervosito taking them onto a hook over here. Now they have about 40 seconds to find Snapply before they bleed out. We do see Quasi having to hit stage 2 already. Jesus is going to follow. And Snapply nowhere to be found, however. And they do find him here at the edge of the map. No hooks around the area. No agitation for Nervosito, so we'll see if they're able to make it all the way down here. It's gonna be tight. And they are going to make it. And that is going to be the 4K at 5 generators for Nervosito. So that is going to be a very tough win condition, or I mean, at this point, it's gonna have to be a tie. You know, if that the only outcome that we can get from Anxiety's killer is a tie at 4K with 5 generators remaining. 4K5. I'm sorry if I said something earlier. I don't know if I said 4K4, but I meant 4K5. So we'll see. We'll see what Anxiety's killer is able to do here playing Billy. Snapply is the last survivor to hit second stage. So once that happens, they're going to immediately go and ascend onto the entity for a kill. Nervosito just doing some laps around here, so we will continue with the second match here in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this Grindhouse Massacre tournament matchup between Silence and Anxiety. This is match 2 of set 3, and we have Anxiety playing killer this time. Now, the first match went by really fast. I wasn't able to even talk about the build or the add-ons, and I think this match is going to start pretty fast too, with Snapply finding her first survivor around Shack, but Nervosito, who is the survivor found, is able to find that window and not even get a basic attack. So Snapply, understanding that Shack is probably not the best structure to chase around here, is going to try to pressure some of these generators here. And we have a blind here by Darkside. Very well played. Very good placed firecrackers here by Darkside. We do see Darkside going into Shack, and an M1 and a basic attack is going to come onto Darkside over here. We do have third seal up, which is a Hex perk that applies blindness onto the survivor that has been hit, either by a basic attack or a chainsaw. So now Darkside not able to do any aura reading if there's any aura reading to be had. But in this case, Snapply is going to go around the map, going to go from one end to the next, from the bottom to the top, to try to see if they can find more survivors. We do have a find here, and we have Ace going down, but the first generator has been completed, and that unfortunately is unfortunately for Snapply and fortunately for the survivor team, that is the win condition. Because if you were not here for the first match of this third set, we did have a 4K at 5 generators by Nervosito. So now the team of survivors have secured that win condition, and now Snapply is just going to try to do her best to try to get a good result out of this match. But we knew all along that it was going to be a very tough condition, a very tough win condition, or even a tie condition, really, for Snapply to match. And even with similar builds, because Nervosito, when they played Survivor, they had a similar build to this, but Snapply unfortunately not able to get as much value as Nervosito was able to from the first match. Snapply doing a good job here, trying to get the curves. However, Darkside is able to get that vault fast enough for Snapply to not able to connect that M1. We do have a Spring Burst play here, but not fast enough. Nervosito goes down, and we do see some Infectious Fright value over here. And the goal here, if you're trying to understand what the build is doing here for Snapply, is the survivors that are hit are not able to see auras. That includes survivors that are on the ground. And now 3 out of the 4 survivors have been hit. And as you can see, there are 3 stacks now for Snapply for third seal. And as we see Ace going down here with the stun and the down. And Luis, I believe is the name here for Claudette, is another survivor that is working on this gem by the hill. Snapply trying to get a cheeky curve onto them here. Not able to connect though. And Luis very patient around this this tile over here, about this dumpster. And Luis is able to now drop the pallet. A second generator pops in the distance. The pickups have been found, at least one of them, for the survivors. Second one too, but Snapply is able to interrupt that pickup. And a very good curve attempt over here. Snapply able to hug that car very well. Not able to connect that M1. I think Snapply was trying to go for you know, a ping play over here, understanding that two regions playing in this matchup, NA versus South America, but that didn't play in her favor. So Snapply able to get rid of that pallet on Fun Bus, getting the M1 over here, and now they're going to just continue the slugs, and understanding that they're trying to get a lot of pressure onto these survivors, trying to take advantage of the third seal perk. Mariana going down as well, so now two slugs. Luis and Nervosito are gonna have to go and try to maybe find the pickups while blind, so not able to find, not able to see their auras. However, of course, we do have comms, right? So they're able to give out shout out their location. So Snapply not able to connect that chainsaw onto Nervosito, going around trying to mind game, seeing if they can do that. They trying to get that hit from the other side of main building. Oh wow, and they stop their chainsaw just before they connect, I believe. I'm not sure if Snapply could have continued that chainsaw there and able to connect to Nervosito, but this has allowed Nervosito to continue this chase up to the top side of the map. Snapply decides to not continue the chase. He's going to go for Ace over here, blocking them, trying to get an M1, but they're spun around and getting 360 in the area, and not able to connect that either. And I believe that the pin here might have some play, not allowing Snapply to get those two hits. And not able to get that one either, even with Bloodlust tier 1. And now Snapply deciding, okay, I'm gonna use just my chance. I'll see if I can get a curve over here, but Darkside keeping their check spots really well. And now with a little bit of overdrive, Snapply able to snipe Nancy over here. Billy is just too fast when it's in overdrive, and especially with the Eerie add-on that Snapply is running, and not able to get that hit either. The pallet is not going to be dropped here by Luis, so Luis is very patient around these pallets, saving the resources. And while all this is happening, we see that the survivors have completed 4 generators already. So Silence is very efficient, playing these generators very well, and Snapply unable to connect that hit onto Nervosito. Now deciding to leave them. Nancy here, played by Mariana, dropping this pallet. Snapply decided to not break it. The ball breaks it now, but was trying to go for a curve onto Nancy. Some infectious fright value over here, giving out the location of 2 survivors in the area. Snapply cleaning up some of the resources over here. Ruin is gone, so no more free gen regression for Snapply, so having to kick this pallet to I'm sorry, trying to kick this, having to kick this generator. Just a dry kick, no eruption, no pop goes the whistle or anything, and we have the first pickup. So Snapply deciding, you know what, I think at this point she's just gonna try to get as many hook stages as she can, and that is the last generator, however. So first hook onto Mariana, and Snapply checking out the gates over here to see if there's any survivors around, trying to get the gates open. Now Nervosito just sends the save. Was that a 99 sprint burst? Maybe not. But basic attack onto Nervosito. So now 3 survivors are injured. Napoli trying to mind game this rock over here, respecting the pallet just a little bit, but it's enough for Nervosito to be able to go around it once again. Not pre-dropping the pallet, dropping it now. Napoli seeing if they can get into a chase again. No chase music has started, so now we start. So now Bloodless can start to build up. Nervosito winning that 50-50 over there, making Snapply go back a little bit. And I think with this round and round around the rock, Snapply able to catch up and finally get that down onto Nervosito. So that is going to be the first hook onto Nervosito, but all 3 survivors remaining have escaped, and that is going to be the win for Silence. And Nervosito dies, so Napoli able to get 4 stages on this last match. But that is going to be it for us in Grindhouse Massacre. We appreciate everyone joining us. Shout out to both regions, North and South America. Very fun matchup and very well played by both teams. And that will be all for us today. We will continue the tournament tomorrow, so stick around, hit that follow button, and we'll see you next time.